Hey guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to our daily stock market insights with Miss JD. Today is technically December 12:04 in the morning, but we are going to cover the market performance for December 2nd. Okay? If this is your first time to watch my video, I just want to let you know that this is a channel that talks about the stock market, cryptocurrency, in stock market in the Philippines and even the US. So if you have a request as to which stock you're currently holding and you'd like to seek some insights from me, go ahead and drop a comment so I can prioritize your request in my video tomorrow because I'm doing this daily. At the same time, if this is your first time, you may also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. And don't forget to like. Okay, so let us start with our discussion. Let's talk about the index first. So we pretty much have a good story to tell today because of the 1% increase in the price. We ended at 7,080 for today in the index, and this simply shows that we will most likely have a lot of gainers from the stocks or from the companies included in the index. But we're going to cover and review them as well. So what I can see here is that we are respecting the MA20 line with some slight overshoot right here, but that's still fine. We still created a higher low. So this was when it retraced, it stopped right here, and it continued to rally upwards, and then when it declined again, we created a higher low. Notice this is higher than this one. So there's a big chance if improvements are going to continue to happen. Economy is starting to go back to the new normal. Businesses are open. Chances are we will be able to break the 7,200 level, if not tomorrow, before the week ends. Okay, so tomorrow is a Thursday. Yeah, we could even end the week breaking the resistance. But take note that 7,212 is our nearest resistance. All right, let's check. Let's first check the most trending stocks. So, sort this from highest to lowest. Let's start with BPI. Wow. Third day of being red for BPI. Yeah, I know I also mentioned this before, and I think if I'm not mistaken, we plotted it right here because we've seen these. So it looks like it's taking its sweet time, creating this support at this level. So this is still a support area for me. Okay, so I'm thinking it could just continue stabilizing first before it goes up again. Because if you are to look at it, right, as it dropped, okay, well, it dropped here and we had that significant drop. People must have taken profit because we rallied significantly for the past month, and then all of a sudden people took profit, and they all did take profit almost all at the same time because the volume is so huge. And as we progress, dropping each day, the volume is starting to decline. So chances are, if we are going to continue dropping, it's possible that we will just stabilize here, or it could be slightly lower, as in slightly lower, because it's an area. Okay, so if I plotted 78.98, it doesn't mean that it has to stop right at my exact point, because it could be slightly higher or lower. But the point is, the volume of the sellers is starting to decline. So we might be able to experience a bounce really, really soon. At the same time, BPI is a very established company in the country. So if you would like to accumulate volume, try to picture out, uh, try to see the bigger picture, I mean. So where are we at? So this is your potential. See that? Unless you can wait for mid to long term, probably a year or two for it to go back, but it all depends. Sometimes it could be faster than that. right? So let's talk about BDO. BDO over here. So we had a decline, right? But in today's performance, we started with a gap up, and then it filled that gap. But even though we ended red today, the possibility of us continuing our movement to the upside is really high, because technically we created a candlestick much higher than this previous green candlestick. So this, for me, when it reached this level around 101, that was already a bounce. So we had a continuation, and it just simply filled that gap, which is way better, so that the next move is it will continue to create a higher high, something to that effect. Okay, now the nearer you are, just in case, 104.10, anywhere from 101 to 104 is already a good level to actually where it is at right now. The moment the market opens, um, nothing to fear with this company, because it's a very stable company and you are still at a very attractive level. We can see some continuation to happen by tomorrow over here. Okay. What about Dito? Dito managed to cross the MA20 line. So some of this is starting to show some interesting moves. 7 peso is still our nearest resistance, but mind you guys, don't settle with the penny gains. Okay, so you could be profitable here, but then again, remind yourself of what your objective is while you're entering this stock. Are you just in it for small gains, multiple small gains, or you'd like to stay in this stock for much bigger picture, uh, long term wise, because probably that this stock is the third telco, and they will start being live, or they'll be in operations starting Q1 of next year. So if you're banking on that fact, then you're banking on the idea that Dito is going to be a growth stock. So we definitely will not just end around 7 peso level. At one point, if you just have the patience and hold on to your position, definitely one of these days it will break the 7 peso level. And it's just a matter of you deciding your level of happiness. Like, at what rate do you find it already enough as a gain? Because some will be very happy with a 1 peso gain, a 2 peso per share gain, or a 30 peso per share gain. So we don't really know the maximum potential of the stock. And like Globe and Telecom, it took them years for that price level to be reached. But imagine this, even if you don't even aim for that 1,000 peso level, if you just even aim for a 30 peso, a 50 peso level for Dito soon or someday, uh, this can still be considered as a cheap level, right? But if you're just trading it as a day trader, then know that we have a resistance at a 7 peso area. And just accept the fact that if you're in it for long term, there will be fluctuations. And this will really, really test your emotions. So that's my reminder. Know your objective, because your emotions here will really, really be tested. Let's talk about Ali. As for Ali, okay, so we have a resistance right here. That is a resistance. The reason why I said that, if you look to the left, there's almost near here, but if you go further to the left, this was your resistance before, which became a support. So that is an important level. So we could be breaking that really soon. I'm thinking, yes, we can definitely, because we had some foreign buying that happened today. So we could probably see some more movements to the upside. Okay, so what you can do probably here is that wait for a confirmation that that resistance is broken. Otherwise, you can go back to the MA20 because there is an indicator or a sign as well, or a cue that could be a possible support if it drops, because you used to have a resistance right there. This one as well. See that? Okay. What about MWIDE? MWIDE, for those people who are interested in entering this stock and were not able to enter before, this stock gave you a chance. It revisited the MA20 line, and for me, it is going to establish a support at this level around 9 peso 905 area. So if you'd like to get in this stock, for me, it is still okay. Very, very cheap area. In fact, I'm going to include this as my pick for tomorrow. Just watch out because you have touched the MA20 line. In some occasions, it could break, but definitely talking about risk to reward ratio, your risk here is still tolerable. Okay, the way I'm addressing that to, of course, our midterm or position traders. Okay, for those people who are willing to wait for weeks before their setup would really pan out according to their plan. RLC here. This is a doji, right? So, I'd say this is a resistance area in the short term. Okay, that's a resistance area, so we might experience some difficulty breaking that in case. Okay, but I'm not saying that it will never break that. But who knows tomorrow if the bullish movement continues to happen across majority of our stocks, then most likely RLC will also take advantage of that. So what you can do is wait for a confirmation that we officially break the 18 peso area before you can get in. Otherwise, if it is going to continue to give some signs of weakness, chances are it will also go back to the MA20 level. Do you see that? This used to be a resistance right here. Resistance, resistance, and you have your MA20. Okay. So for those people who are already in this stock, you know that if you have entered between March to December, I'd say you are still in a very good setup. This will just start the reversal here. It actually started reversing back in May, but we're still okay. We're still at a healthy level. Let's talk about now. Now, this is a breakout for now. Chances are we are going to have a new support around the 474. Okay, that's your new support. We managed to break out of that, and then we had a red today because it just simply filled that gap. So we are most likely going to stabilize here and create a brand new support. And next, of course, is for it to continue going up. Hopefully we could go back to this level, but if you're just going to haggle like 30 to 40, 30% gain, 50% gain, well, let's see. Let's try to measure that. Let's say you want to aim for this level. Oh, that's a 60% gain, and that's just 7 pesos from a 475 area, 483 area to a 7 peso area will already give you a 60% gain. So you don't even have to aim for that. But even better if you can wait, but we don't really know how long it will take for it to go back to this area. Okay? But definitely the bullish movement for now is also starting to manifest. URC. URC, let's take a look. URC also managed to do a bounce right here. We're slightly lower than the MA20 line, as you can see, but probably your trigger here is the moment it crosses the MA20 level. That is going to be really, really cool. Otherwise, if it goes back to 142, I think that's a much better entry. We still have some good potential here for this stock, but know that you have a support nearby. See that? solid resistance right here. And we're trying to stabilize here as well, probably create a support at that area before we can continue moving higher. So anywhere from 142 to 145 is still a good entry for me. Our RSI is also right, we're already at the 52 level, so momentum is picking up. Let's take a look at MBT. MBT also managed to bounce, see that? Green, 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 but definitely also respect key areas. The nearest resistance here is 49.78. Volume is there still, so there's really a big chance that we could easily break that short-term resistance, and then you still have some more room here for the stock to climb higher and higher. See that? Because this stock was also badly hit when we had the pandemic. It dropped significantly. Let's take a look at the SMPH. Okay, see that? What's interesting is we had this massive engulfing candlestick, but the volume is not that much. Then another green today, volume is still small. So if it is going to continue moving higher, then I have a feeling that we might also experience difficulty breaking this resistance area because it's not backed up by a solid volume. So yeah, maybe you can plan out your entry and exit. If you want, you can wait for a breakout, or you can wait for it to retrace around the MA20 line and do test buys first. Okay. Also, if you are profitable, if you have already entered somewhere here, consider locking in some profit, because as we go higher and higher, looks like the volume is also starting to decline. And so what happens after that, if you reach a resistance, then people might be taking profit. Let's take a look at JGS. JGS is also approaching a resistance here. Okay, 73.71. That's your nearest resistance. Try to also observe if you see another red candlestick right at that level. If you do see one, that for me is a sign of weakness. Therefore, we might have some correction again. So if you're already profitable right here, consider locking in some profit, because we're also halfway. Imagine this, you only have a few wiggle room for the price to move higher and higher, unless you're into a dividend play. But this was back in October. ICT, okay. ICT for me doesn't look good, because we are currently moving below the MA20 line, and your MA20 could act as a resistance at the moment. See that? As we go near our MA20 line, you have some rejection that happened right there. So we might see a dropping again in tomorrow's market performance. So the area to watch out for that it could possibly create a support at would be 115.63. JFC has a good story today. Okay, look at that. We're currently sitting at a possible resistance, but if it continues to break that 200 level and probably cross the 200 area, chances are we are going to create a brand new support at its previous resistance. So something to look forward to. It's good that when it dropped, it somehow respected the MA20 level. So we had a slight overshoot here, but that's fine. It was redeemed. This company redeemed itself in just a span of a day. How many days worth of decline was recovered in just one day performance? Let's talk about SM. SM, we also crossed the MA20 line, but the volume, look at that, volume is not that much. So this is what I'm going to do, okay? I am going to draw a downtrend channel, because looks like this is still respecting that channel, okay? Maybe what you can do here is that the moment it breaks this upper line over here, which is currently acting as a resistance, if you manage to break and end one candlestick outside of that, then we can say that's a breakout play. we have a breakout play, especially when the price is much higher than the MA20 line. So that's the kind of picture we're looking forward to see. Okay, we're also just on at the normal range, while the rest are struggling or were struggling during the pandemic time. This stock here was just rallying. Now let's talk about AGI. AGI, this for me is a sign of weakness. That's a doji as well. And if that appears at the resistance area, chances are it will go back to its previous support, could be right at the 930 level. There, 930, 938, it's an area. So possibly, it could possibly go back to that level. And let us see, once it reaches that key area over here, like this area, we'll see if it will just continue to bounce or break that key level, and then we'll see. At the moment, if you're to look at the long-term outlook here, imagine how much it has dropped since 2014. It has been a significant downhill movement. Wow, interesting. We have a foreign buying that happened. So if that's the case, you have foreign buying, but we really don't know at what average do they have here. So if it breaks, then that's a good sign. We can also probably do a breakout play there. Let's talk about, so just a minute, AC. AC, wow, we have a bounce. Actually, this is the second day. But in the short term, you have a resistance right here. Okay, 863 level, guys. Let us see if it will break that. Otherwise, if you see some red forming in this level, that means it could most likely retrace. Let's talk about Cebu Pacific. Cebu Pacific, this for me, let us see, but this could be a trigger of a lower high, right? So this is how it looked like. We moved up, dropped, and created a bounce, but it only landed lower than this previous point. So this could already trigger some lower highs. So for now, I'd say let's see if it will go back to our MA20 line and establish a support, stronger support before it takes off again. But still, if you're going to look at it long term, we're at a cheap level. Let's talk about Double Dragon. Double Dragon also revisited, but still, for me, since I'm in this stock, what I did actually today is I added volume here. So we'll see if it'll continue to recover by tomorrow. But since we're moving higher than the MA20 line, we're still at a safe zone here. We'll see if it'll continue to move higher and higher in the coming days, or even weeks, or even months. East-West. East-West, this is a sign of weakness, guys. People have been profitable and are locking in some profit here. So maybe if it is going to continue moving down, catch it around MA20 line, let's see, or even here. Oh yeah, it's an MA20 line. There, 1086. See if it'll stabilize and create a brand new support right there. Let's talk about tech. Tech also revisited, but our average here is still looking healthy. 641 is the next possible support I'm looking at. So if in case it'll drop, then that's an area to catch. There's a 5.6 million foreign buying. So that's a good one. Maybe we will see some recovery happening soon. I think that is it for this evening. I hope I was able to cover some stocks that are in your portfolio. By the way, guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to also promote what I am promoting. One, I'm in Patreon, so I do a lot of research. I study a lot. I also post a lot of insightful materials and information right there. And I also post my stock picks in that venue. So I have a link, and if you're interested, you can also show your support by joining the group. Okay. Second, I also have a referral link for my eToro, not my eToro, a referral link in eToro in case you want to start trading the US market. Okay. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like if you like our content today, so that YouTube will start to discover Miss JD and share it to the wider audience. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and bye bye.